what we can see, or what we could have seen over the past month, is that the union parties, the CDU and the CSU, could benefit quite a lot from the Corona crisis management, and they are still ahead of the Greens and the Social Democrats. And it's true that for the CDU, it was important to choose a candidate who was considered to be a suitable chancellor as well. But what we can see in the data is that even though 4 out of 10 Germans think that Armin Laschet is a good boss for the CDU, he might not be considered to be a suitable chancellor yet. So only 1 out of every 5th thinks that Armin Laschet would be a suitable chancellor in September.
What do you reckon? How much will the CDU look at those popularity ratings of Armin Laschet when it comes to picking the candidate who is running for chancellery next? And in other words, how big are the chances for Markus Söder?
Yeah, that's a question that only the CDU can answer for itself. But if they are interested in polling data, they can see that the chances for Markus Söder to become chancellor at the moment are much higher. So every second person in Germany who might vote in September thinks that he is a suitable candidate. And one thing that I see that can be important is that what we've seen in the past is that especially women have brought the CDU a lot of votes in the polls recently. They were much more satisfied with the crisis management in the COVID situation, but also with Angela Merkel's leadership. And the question might be who of these men is able to win the female vote in the future. So, I mean, Laschet could win the female vote, but what we see in the moment is that Markus Söder is much ahead.
So, which topics will, in your opinion, will be decisive when it comes to the general election in September? Will it be Corona, the economy, also, or others?
Yeah, in the past year, we've seen that there can be a huge shift. So in the beginning of last year, it was the climate situation that was one of the main topics for people in Germany. And then it got shifted away by Corona. And what we see at the moment is that people think that the economy, labor, work, that is the important topics for the future. They consider that like economic topics to be the most important topics for the election.
Now, before we get to the election, the immediate task for Mr. Laschet will be uniting the CDU party itself. And this is a crucial task if they want to succeed in September. What can you tell us about this task and the chances that he will be able to unite this party in a more meaningful way?
Yeah, I mean, I can refer to the opinion of the voters, and they have doubt in the fact whether Mr. Laschet can reunite the party. 4 out of 10 rate him to be a good head of the party, but they are very unsure whether he manages to keep the party together.
And just to round up the conversation, I want to ask you just in general how the polling looks right now in terms of the approval of how the government has handled the coronavirus situation. How are things looking?
Yeah, so we saw a year in 2020 where the Germans were very satisfied with the government and the way they were handling the Corona situation, and they got approval rates for that up to 60%. And in the past month, now with the second or even third wave of Corona in Germany, we see that the approval rates are dropping a little bit. It's still every second person who thinks that the government does a good job, but it's way less than 6 months ago.